Guess who's back in the house? I am so excited. We have finally come to this moment. The Drag Race Season 11 finale is upon us. Today was the big day, and I just could not wait to watch the finale. And so, some of my favorite moments from the finale are Sugarcane. Sugarcane came back with a vengeance after the reunion, where she seemed to just disappear from the taping. She had her redemption, and she had this incredible reveal. She started off in this very kind of like heavenly bodies inspired gown that was all white, wearing this really cool like gold headpiece. She's holding flowers. She drops the flowers and reveals this really cool, I think it's called the Lady of Guadalupe print. And then she tears that off to reveal this velvet gown with these two kind of like these almost like, I think it was like tulle caped panels that were on the back of her gown. And so I love that she had that moment. Also, Plastique always looks good, but I loved that she wore a traditional Vietnamese gown with this kind of like really cool feathered, I don't even know what it was, but this feathered piece that was on the back of the costume. She looked beautiful. Also, this was kind of like a very different way to present the finale. The top four queens had kind of like a video montage where they're kind of like explaining their journey and kind of like stating why they deserve to win the season. And so it was really cool to kind of like, I don't know if they had to like self-produce those. Akeria had, oh, I forget her name, but the comedian that was in her episode where she won for like Twerking is a Blessing. I forget her name, but she was in Akeria's video. I really loved Yvie's video. She really kind of like sold it. And I think time-wise, she had the longest piece. And she was really able to state her case why she deserved to win Drag Race based on her journey, based on her drag, how she is this very kind of like odd creature who's had to develop thick skin because of kind of like issues with sexuality, issues with health, issues with not being kind of like deemed someone credible in the drag community. So I really loved Yvie's video montage in the beginning. Also, Rue looked exquisite. I'm like so exhausted right now because I actually went to a taping of Rupaul's talk show, which is filmed in Burbank at Warner Brothers Studios, and I was there for 7 hours, and I'm actually ready to go to bed. It was a long day of taping, but it was really cool. I'll talk about that in another video. Tomorrow I will post it. And so I was like actually rushing to get home to watch the finale. And so also I really loved that everyone, which I didn't notice this last year, but all of the top four queens, they were asked who were there supporting them in the audience. And I loved hearing about all of the parents and the siblings and the supporters in the audience And so that was a really beautiful moment. And I also loved when Brooke Lynn's mother stated that she didn't raise her children, but her children shaped and molded her. And so that was a really beautiful moment. It's beautiful when a parent of an LGBTQ plus child can look past um, their sexual orientation or gender identity and just love them because that is their child. And so I love that. That was a beautiful moment. And so fast forward, Vanjie kind of like stops production to state her case why she should be the winner of season 11. That whole skit was hilarious. Vanjie was in downtown LA, I think on Broadway or no, Grand, one of those streets. And so I recognized it from the Whole Foods. And so that whole skit was hilarious. Vanjie will always be a winner. And then we get to the battles of the top four. So Rue spins the wheel and comes across Silky's face first. And then Silky gets to decide who she wants to lip sync against. I have no idea why Silky would choose Brooke Lynn, of all people, to lip sync against. If I know that Brooke Lynn has been really killing it in point all season long and the judges has been eating that up, I would not go against Brooke Lynn. And so the song that they get is Bootylicious. And I actually wasn't impressed with the performance by Silky. Even though she had a ton of reveals, which ever since Sasha Velour had her legendary wig reveal with the rose petals, all queens feel as if they have to do some type of reveal. It's not necessary. Sometimes it just takes away from actually the performance. And so I really wasn't impressed with what Silky gave. Even though like her first look, she looked beautiful. I wish she would have just kept that and not just focusing on ripping this off, ripping that off. And so Brooke Lynn wins the lip sync. And then it's Yvie versus Akeria. And they have SOS by Rihanna. And Yvie, what she changed into just looked incredible. It was like, I feel like someone in another season wore something very similar. I know that the girls at this point like use a lot of the same designers, but I feel as if I've seen something like that on another queen. And so I actually wasn't impressed with Akeria and Yvie. I think what saved Yvie was just the her costume. It just was incredible to look at. There are all these textures, and it created movement on top of movement, and so that was very interesting to watch. And just her ability to just bend her body in a way that just seems impossible is always wonderful to look at. Akeria had some like reveals, which she could have kept the reveals because it was like it was a reveal, but it didn't. There was no distinction between reveals, and the reveal that she did was almost the same look that she had in the previous episode before the reunion. So I wasn't really impressed with Akeria, but based on Akeria versus Yvie kind of like sold it just a little bit more with the costume. And then we go into top two performances, Brooke Lynn versus Yvie. And Brooklyn's costume was hilarious. Um, it's this like um, overcoat type garment that has reveal splattered across the front. And then when she turned around, it says, I said something like, ready to reveal or get ready for the reveal. I thought that was hilarious. Her hair looked gorgeous. Um, and Yvie's headpiece that was reflective showed three of her faces in the mirrored panel. And then she had that great moment where she spun around and she had on a gold mask, and it almost looked as if like when she did a backwards bend, that she was going to reveal a different gown, but she didn't. But it was just like different material underneath the gown. The gown itself gave me very brown cow stunning from the panel, kind of like the front facing panel. It looked like it was cow print, but smaller. And so Rue picks Yvie as the winner of season 11, rightfully so. Congratulations to Yvie. You really shined during this season, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad I got to meet you during DragCon, and I look forward to seeing what you do during your reign as the winner. And so this concludes the trade review. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Yvie should have won? Do you think that Brooke Lynn should have won? Who was your favorite in each of the battles? And I will see you soon. Besos.